So some very serious allegations against the YouTuber Quite have recently gone viral when NASA put out this TwitLonger titled, "I refuse to be silent any longer." Also, before we get into reading the TwitLonger, here's a trigger warning for all of the sensitive topics discussed in this TwitLonger, so if you don't want to hear about any of this, I recommend clicking off the video now. Anyways, the TwitLonger starts off with them saying, "Hello, I never felt that I could come out about this, and I have struggled with this for years before writing this, and I doubt it'll be anything close of years after I write this, that this will ever be released. But in case you are reading this, I have to come out and lay what has happened to me. I was raped by a man known as the YouTuber Quite in February of 2018, and I have been in an extremely toxic friendship / on and off relationship with him since 2017. To start in the beginning, I found Quite's channel when it had less than 500 subscribers, and as a teenager, I wanted to make art for him. Because he didn't use his face in his videos, I thought he would have an easier time if I drew him and recommended he wore sunglasses and a face mask. There, I essentially came up with a sauna with him, and drew various talk sprites for him, for free, that he only ever used maybe once. We were around the same age, and slowly began talking and bonding over shared mental health issues. At the time, I was undiagnosed with autism and borderline personality disorder, which I have diagnosis of now, and thus was unaware of how these would affect me in the coming relationship we had, and how he would, most likely without knowing, take advantage of me. At first, we were extremely close in ways that helped the both of us. He shared bits of his past and I shared mine. However, slowly my status as an artist would land me in more YouTuber circles than his would, and he would slowly try to encourage me to let him join said spaces. As a friend, I of course wanted to include him in as many as I could, but as I did, he made various connections outside of me. The relationship grew transactional. While I won't say I was the most stable person at the time, I was not actively unkind. I cannot say the same for him. When my abandonment issues would arise, he would leave me ignored, and then when I was having the worst of my time, he would swoop in to save me and keep me under his thumb. He would yell at me or act passive-aggressive towards me when being my friend was inconvenient, but love-bomb me when it was just us or he needed something from me. He would use my memory issues against me to gaslight me about things he said, and would keep most of the conversations we had on calls or on Skype because the messages delete after a set amount of time. He would actively talk about his new friends to me when he wanted me to do something for him, and took up a great amount of my time. Eventually we met in real life a few times. I had transphobic parents, so I told him my dead name to use only when my parents were talking to him, but after knowing this information, he would use it as a way to belittle me. The first meeting was fine, but he had a rule that I wasn't allowed to take any pictures of him, but he was allowed to take pictures of me. After promising and begging to take a few pictures that wouldn't, and still haven't, been posted for memories, he let me take a few before he left. The second meeting, however, was different. We had planned to meet up while he was on vacation in my city, and thus I would pick him up in my car, and we would both go to a trampoline park and go see Black Panther. This is where the worst of his behavior occurred. At the time, we were both on and off flirting, and had discussed that if we were both single at this time, we would take each other's virginity. However, once he came onto me in the back seat of my car, I started to get cold feet. He, however, did not want to take no for an answer. In the back seat of my own car, he raped me, all while I was telling him how it hurt, and how I didn't want to do this anymore. He kept telling me this is what you wanted as he went, but soon got bored of it and got out. I sat in the car by myself for a bit, before going to join him in the movie we planned to see together, and to make up, he had me buy him popcorn. I put the event out of my mind, as just two virgins being bad at sex, and hung out with him for the rest of the day, as he was still one of my closest friends. I have a video with him to prove we were together at that time, that I was able to post only for myself after begging him to take pictures with me because we were friends. A few months later, once he gained quite a few more subscribers and larger YouTuber friends, did he start ghosting me more and more often, all while I was having a BPD episode. It got to the point where he called me to cut me off, and in our fight called me a dyke who thinks she's a boy and will never be. This extremely hurt me, and caused me to spiral more. I almost needed to be institutionalized, but thankfully for my social support system, I wasn't. Months passed, and when I tried to come out about the emotional abuse I suffered, I received harassment from his fans. I received calls to my house to tell me to kill myself, furthering my poor mental health. Eventually, however, it subsided, and through a turn of events, I was able to set up a call to reconcile with him. In this call, he tried to gaslight me further, claiming that I had led him on, or worse, assaulted him instead, all in front of a mediator who thankfully knew better than to believe him. In this call, he screamed at me, threw things and broke things and continued to try to gaslight me. However, thanks to Danny, Lord Bung, he calmed down and apologized for some of his behavior. However, I don't believe he was sincere. I am truly sorry I stayed silent on this issue for years, but I cannot keep silent. I have been scared for myself and how the public will treat me, but I am too scared that I am not the only victim to keep silent anymore. Anyone who may also have been victimized is more than encouraged to DM me, and I hope you are doing okay. I know that many of you will not believe me. I don't care anymore. For those who do, thank you for your ear, and I hope that you stay safe. TLDR, I was raped by Quite, emotionally abused, dead named, called slurs, and gaslit into silence for 6 years. Natsupudin then added to their twitlonger by including an imager link with some evidence. This first image is from February 2nd, 2018, where they say, required. Also, what are your family doing while we hang? Because if they are out, hotel room empty. Quite responds, we'll see. Come on sheets, no good bro. We then have a message from the 28th of February 2018 where Quite says, the looks part. Us meeting up is fine. These next set of images come from June 21st, 2017, where they say, who can I tell we're dating to? Quite responds, if you trust them to keep it a secret, I trust your judgment. Probably keep it to the people I know as well though, unless you were really close with them, then I get it. This next image is from January 14th, 2017, where as mentioned in the twitlonger, Natsupudin makes this art for Quite. We then get some proof that these images are from Quite's official Discord account, and then we get some pictures of them together in June of 2017 and February of 2018. Natsupudin continues posting on their Twitter when they say, thank you so far for the support. I gathered a lot, but if more proof is needed, I will see what I can do. Much of our conversations were on calls, just for the reason that they can't be screenshotted due to his want for anonymity, but hopefully what I did provide was enough. I'm sure he'll delete a lot now that I've gone public, but he can't run from what he did to me anymore. An hour later, they also post, wow, his mods are silencing my post in his Discord. Who would have thought? It's almost as if he's always been averse to taking accountability whenever he did anything wrong. We then have another ex-partner of Quite coming out to support Katsupudin by quote tweeting them and saying, trigger warning, rape, transphobia. I'm so proud of Orion for coming out about this awful subject. Please support them in any way you can. And if you don't believe the photos, I have my own from when I dated him, showing an image of Quite's face that matches up with the one that was shown by Orion, aka Natsupudin. Lord Bung also corroborated the allegations when he posted on his community tab. I know this isn't an episode update, but one of my closest friends and co-writer to Confinement was treated very horribly. Please read. Linking Orion's Twitter post. These allegations have also caused hashtag #DropQuite to trend on Twitter, and at the time of recording this, Quite has also lost over 10,000 subscribers. For me personally, while I don't necessarily not believe Orion here, I don't think they provided enough evidence to say definitively that Quite did what they are claiming, just that they indeed met up IRL and had some sort of romantic relationship during that time. There are quite a few people like Lord Bung and Quite's ex-partner Ken taking Orion's side in this situation, but that doesn't necessarily add validity to it, as in the past, false allegations have been made against YouTubers. People have came out to support said allegations, and then it ended up being false. Specifically, I'm referencing the Slazo situation. This could be yet another one of those situations, or Quite could actually be this secret horrible person. Personally, I'm reserving final judgment until Quite responds and I have a chance to look at both sides of the situation, but I'd also like to know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Of course, if Quite does respond to this, I will be updating you on this channel in either a short or a video, so if you don't want to miss that, be sure to subscribe with notifications on, and with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in another video.